Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 24th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I had a better Tuesday. Didn't get chewed on this Tuesday. I will say, though, it was pretty busy, I did have a bit of a moment where I had decided with like the whole trash Gaylord thing. They were like literally sending it like a thing full of just loose trash, which was not a part of the agreement. So I said, you know what? I'm going to throw my hands up and not do it today. And luckily, I didn't catch any flack for that, really. So that was nice. Got away with it. Also, it was nice too because I was surprised that the company actually listened to a higher up with some reason, and they got me a new apparatus. Essentially, it is the same as the Gaylord, but it is made out of like this hard plastic material. And it also has these like flaps that you can unlatch on either side, and it gives you easier access to what you're trying to get out of it. In this case, the trash. So I'm like, okay, I don't know how many of these you guys got. I saw them at the end of the day, but I was like, hey, this is a good idea. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's better than these flimsy cardboard things that you just keep filling up with nonsense and expect me to like hook out. Granted, I'm still going to have to use my handy dandy hook, but whatever. So yeah, there's that. A bit of little home things that I forgot to mention, little life bloggy stuff. The maintenance people did get a new toilet seat for my toilet, so that's awesome. Love that. Only had to pester them a little bit, and they got on it pretty quick, so yay for that. And then a bit of gym stuff. I was working out the other day, and mind my own fucking business. And I finally heard the lunk alarm at Planet Fitness. I was always curious if it even worked. Like, I've been there, for 2 weeks, and I'm like, surely I won't hear it anymore. This is a very sensible place full of sensible people. But what I surmised, because I couldn't, like, when it went off, I literally was like, is this a tornado? Like, what the fuck? Because it was a little cloudy out. And I was like, is this a tornado or something? And then I see the blue light whirling or whatever. And I was like, this is so stupid. I'm so annoyed right now. Luckily, I wasn't the lunk in question. I think it was like a couple kids. They were like using like the bar machine thing. I guess. But they were like fiddling around with it or something, and then next thing you know, like that went off. So I don't know if it was that or they were just testing it. Like maybe they tested like it's a tornado alarm for real. Like you got to do it once a month. I don't know, but yeah, so I mean, you're kind of caught up with all my little Joneses there. Let's go ahead and hit the food corner and we'll get into some news. What did I eat last night? I had the Mexican beef and rice bowl. It was very yummy. It's a very classic little staple in the house. The tortillas, I actually had 4 tortillas, really gorged myself. Love to see that for me. But yeah, everything was really yummy with the right rice. Yeah, very classic, very staple. Oh, and it was also nice too because I've been trying to be better about remembering buying a tomato. Like I have a bunch of pickled things like pickled peppers. I have pickled red onions and things of that nature. But I will say it is nice if you can get like 1 or 2 fresh ingredients to just like integrate into a meal. Always love that. Always a winner. So yeah, dinner last night was solid. It was good. And today it was a good day. Like I said, I'm really trying not to complain. I know I've been bitching about it or complaining about it a lot, but like I almost had a heart attack because like how like you have your pending transactions and then they like fully go through. And I was like, oh, so I'm even more broke than I thought, and that's not good because that's like we're really fucking pushing it. But you get to that point where you're just so scared and you're so freaked out about the money that you just kind of like flatline on it, or like you get an idea and you're like, okay, well that's how it has to be, then I'll do it that way, and like then you're like, all right, cool, you're resigned to it. That's kind of where I'm at now. So I think I'm gonna be okay. I think we're gonna make it, question mark, knock on wood. But yeah, that's just a typical day in the life, right? All right, so yeah, we're all caught up on my Joneses. Let's go ahead and do our startup, and we'll get into some news. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's start off with some Ohio news. Updates. Officials concerned about the risk of explosion due to chemical leak in Whitewater Township. A dangerous chemical leak in Whitewater Township has prompted an evacuation order for people in the area, according to Hamilton County Emergency Management and Fire officials. Excuse me. This is happening near State Route 128 and US 50 near the Great Miami River in western Hamilton County. Hamilton County EMA states that per Whitewater fire officials, a dangerous chemical leak has occurred near State Route 128 and US 50. EMA officials say the leak is not from a train derailment, but a train car that has a valve open, releasing styrene gas. Here's what we know. So if this sounds familiar, it's very akin to the East Palestine situation, only we don't have the explosion part. Hopefully not at all. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But it seems almost bar for bar, that, and I feel like that's why they worded it that way in that last sentence there. But right now they just have like an evacuation and then a shelter-in-place order within a 3/4 mile radius until further notice. So they're keeping the residents in the area posted about it. Let's see here. But like right now, I think they're letting it leak. They're not doing anything to like fuck with it because they're worried about like rising temperatures and potentially having an explosion. And maybe it is that situation of like, okay, well, it's leaking the way that it is. We maybe want to wait it out. I don't know. You know what I mean? The powers that be are, figuring out what they want to do with it. But yeah, definitely a spooky thing. I had gotten like a news bump about it, and I was like, oh, this seems kind of small potatoes. But then I was like scrolling on my Facebook, and I saw a couple of friends posting like, hey, like this is a real thing you should be worried about if you're in the area. Just be aware, yada yada yada. And gotta say, I salute my friends that are like, hey, like I'm gonna stop shit posting for a second or doing my thing, posting this or that, and I'm actually posting like new shit. I love that. I really relate to that personally. So definitely gotta caught me on my ass to be like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this first thing when I go live. I don't want to not say go live, but you know what I mean. Start recording, whatever. So there you go. I guess a little bit of a quick description. According to the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, styrene is a colorless, flammable liquid which has a sweet odor. Sweet odor. If you come in contact with styrene, wash your skin with soap and water and remove and wash clothing. Flush eyes with large amounts of water for 15 minutes and remove contacts. If inhaled, rinse your mouth and seek medical attention. So do the Bill Clinton, do not inhale. So yeah, just be careful out there if you're in that area. You know what I mean? I'm safe. I'm okay. Luckily, this didn't pop off in my general area. But, definitely just wanted to, put the bulletin out there, talk about that a little bit. Start off, and honestly, real shit, it's nice to start local. You know what I mean? It's nice to start, talk about the city, even though, I know this is like a worldwide podcast, whatever. Anyway. Speaking of, more international or bigger headline news, we can go ahead and talk about Caroline Ellison from USA Today. Prodigy to prison. Caroline Ellison sentenced to 2 years in FTX crypto scandal. So the reckoning for Caroline Ellison has finally come. I would say this is not too bad considering, she was facing a maximum sentence of 110 years. So to get 2 years for essentially saying, hey, I'll play ball, I'll tell y'all what y'all want to know, I will get on, what is it? I don't want to say stage. I will, testify in trial. There's another guy too that also testified against Sam Bankman-Fried. Sorry, I was going to say Scam Bankman-Fraud, but whatever. There's another guy, but I don't know if his sentence has come and gone yet, or if it's yet to come. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig into here. The fallout from a multi-million-dollar scam that bankrupted the cryptocurrency company FTX and plunged some markets into chaos 2 years ago continued Tuesday when former crypto executive Caroline Ellison was sentenced to 24 months in prison. I kind of hate when they do that. Like, they make it sound bigger because they talk in months. It's like when you're talking about your kid, and instead of saying he's like, a year old and some change. You say he's like 13, 14 months. Like, don't do that. That's strange to me. That's so odd. I don't know. Anyway, Ellison, the former chief executive of FTX's sister firm and crypto hedge fund Alameda Research, turned romance novelist. Forgot about that. She like literally was like just doing like Tumblr posting back in the day, and then like apparently she's evolved into this full on novelist. So I mean, hey, good for her. Has described herself as a remorseful participant in the fraud. Prosecutors said her cooperation helped convict FTX mastermind, SBF, and they say it. I'm sorry. Said her cooperation helped convict FTX mastermind and her former boyfriend, Sam Bankman-Fried, in 2023. The crimes Ellison pleaded guilty to carried a maximum sentence of 110 years. So yeah, I mean, I really think this was one of those situations where she and the other employee saw the writing on the wall and they said, hey, I'm gonna fucking start snitching. I'm gonna start squealing like a canary, singing like a canary, whatever. And I think that's the smart fucking play here. I know SBF was like trying to go on this like weird campaign of like trying to like set the record straight. So he kept like doing interviews and kept yapping, which is essentially like the worst thing you could do. Like this is like a defense lawyer's nightmare to have someone like SBF. But like not only was he going to try to set the record straight, he was also like trying to like besmirch Caroline, I think, like especially to try to say like, she's playing the blame game, yada yada yada. She's playing the finger. She actually has like more to do with this than she like says. And I think to some extent that's true. Like she was literally running the Alameda Research Group, so she knew what was going on. It wasn't like this was like lost on her, and she admits that. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Like she realized, okay, this shit is cooked. I'm done. I need to flip on this guy, because at the end of the day, he's head honcho. He's running the show. He should have stopped me from doing this kind of shit. And if I was to guess, I would think that this was most likely SBF's idea to say, hey, we are going to say fuck the rules and we're going to start playing with house money. Or it was something that got brought up in a meeting and SBF was like, that's fine, we can make it work. You know what I mean? And they set out to make it happen. And I think that there were some people that did pipe up and say, hey, this is wrong, this isn't okay. But they were talked around and, essentially the plan went on and they were just fucking harvesting money while they were doing Super Bowl ads with, Larry David and shit. So, I mean, things looked good on the surface until everything started hitting the fan, and then people realized, like, oh, this is what's going on behind the scenes, and then there was a run on it, and they tried to pull their money, and they're like, oh, no, don't do that. And we've talked about this shit. We've kind of run at least some updates on this. Like, they were essentially able to get the money back, make people, quote-unquote, whole. Granted, they weren't whole in the sense of like, well, I mean, crypto has gone through the winter, kind of bounced back in a way. Like, we should be making or seeing more money than this, but at least we got our cash back, which is more than a lot of people who get scammed can say. But that being said, I mean, Ellison played a key role in implicating and telling the story that was FTX. FTX, yeah. So, I mean, I think this adds up. This wasn't crazy to me that she got some time. I think that's at least appropriate. I mean, maybe she just serves like a year and then gets out and gets back to her novels or whatever. So like that's cool. That's fine. And yeah, I think this is okay. I am, believe it or not, pro snitching. Yeah, like fuck it, dude. There's no honor amongst fucking thieves. And especially, this motherfucker is not like someone who can put the ratchet to you. They're not gonna fucking pull the Glocky out, switch to switch, and then fucking like that's not gonna happen to you. You're good. So yeah, I'm gonna fucking snitch on your ass before you snitch on me, bro, for sure. You're some curly headed fuck. You're too neurodivergent to kill me. I know that for a fact. So, yeah, I'm going to make a move against you before I have to go to jail for, like, the same amount of time as you do or whatever. But I don't know. A little bit of a SBF update. Not that it's a big one. I haven't really been keeping too much track with him. I mean, he's been chilling, I think, in jail. He's been hanging out, doing his thing, immersing himself in the culture. I don't know. I haven't heard anything crazy bad from him. But yeah, I totally see him kind of on his like Bernie Madoff shit, giving like advice and stuff on like banking or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I guess you can say all is well that ends well. I mean, like I said, people were made whole. To go through a scam like this and get any kind of money back, you should be thanking your lucky stars, dude. Like, you could have easily, once again, to quote him, you could have easily gotten Bernie Madoff and made none of your money back. You know what I mean? You could have easily just gotten full grifted. So at least getting back to something that's zero is, I say, way better than nothing, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, she could have gotten more time, but like better than no time. I think this was like the perfect amount to get. I don't know, call me crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk scams. Actually, from one scam to another, I guess you could say. This is a little more intimate, I guess you could say. Sure. From CNN. Police arrest 5 people over fake Brad Pitt scam after 2 women lost $362,000. What a grift. Police in Spain have arrested 5 people accused of scamming 2 women out of 325,000 euros. I'm sorry. They say it correctly in the headline. Or $362,000 by pretending to be Hollywood star Brad Pitt online. 10 other people were also investigated as part of Operation Berlina, which spanned 8 provinces, according to a statement from the Guardia Civil published Monday. One woman lost $175,000 or 175,000 euros or $195,000 to fraudsters, while another lost 150,000 euros or $167,000. Of that total, police managed to recover 85,000 euros or $95,000, which, hey, once again, better than zero. You kind of can take what you get here, considering you literally wound up just giving money away to the ether. Like, you just threw that out. And like, look, man, I've talked about my bad beats before. Some soft scams I've endured or gone through. It sucks. It feels fucking bad. Granted, I've never been grifted to the point of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I mean, I know what the sting feels like. You know what I mean? But both victims were contacted via a Brad Pitt fan site. So red flag. Why on God's good green earth would you, as a red-blooded human being, say, oh wow, Brad Pitt is hitting me up via my interactions on a fan site? Like, crazy world. That's so wild that he watches these things and gives a shit. Like no, bro, come on. That's your first thing to be like, something's wrong here. But it was a fan site managed by fraudsters who managed to convince them that the actor wanted to invest in various projects with them, police said. Which immediately you realize, like, oh, this is just like the pig butchering scams that I've talked about before, where it is very akin to some stranger kind of hitting you up out of the blue, like, hey, is this Pamela? Is this Aiden? Da-da-da-da. And then you, like, say no, and then you get into some small talk, and then, like, hopefully, at least if for the scammer, you guys hit it off and become friends or some kind of, like, romantic interest, and then they guide you along the path of saying, hey, I would love you to invest in something. Usually it's a crypto thing or something to that effect. But in this situation, if you are nailing the intro saying, hey, notice you liked my shit on a random fan site, I'm Brad Pitt, the real McCoy. Like, this is literally the meme, like the, like, hey, hi, I'm Lady Gaga, ooh rah, ooh la la, can you send me $100? And, like, except it works. That's essentially what happens here. And, like, Isaiah, like, I'm sure you're thinking, Isaiah, are you blaming the victim? It sure sounds like you're blaming the victim here. And I'm like, no, I'm trying not to here, but, like, this feels like a really stinky, inky scam. And it's like, the idea that you're like, yeah, I'm the one. I'm the main character that, like, Brad Pitt's gonna see via Twitter or X or whatever they found this, this fan site on. Like, I'm the one that Brad Pitt not only wants to talk to, he wants to roll the dice and, like, make an investment with. Like, that's crazy. And then it's also just, calling it out here, the elephant in the room. Why would you think that Brad Pitt needs this money? Bro, he's about to put out another fucking movie with George Clooney. Like, they're about to be fucking assassins and shit. Like, he's doing Mr. and Mr. Smith. Let's just be real here. That's essentially what the movie is. I just ruined it for you. Spoilers. They work it out. This is a very predictable movie, but I'm sure he made some fucking money off it. He doesn't need your help, is what I'm getting at. So, I'm obviously very sorry. It's a bummer. Be very mindful who you are talking to. Even if it's just a text message. I know in this situation they kind of were chatting via WhatsApp, which can be just a real battlefield for scammers. They really operate on there. But like, look, dude, it doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, whether you're on, like I said, just a normal vanilla texting, Messenger, Facebook, Signal, Telegram, just be aware, be careful. Do not give these people any of your information. Do not give these people any of your fucking money, please. I beg, I beseech you. I do not want to see y'all as fishes. Y'all are better than this, please, okay? Not my newsies, okay? Not on my watch, all right? So yeah, no more grifts, no more scams. Not in my corner, not in my circle, okay? So yeah, this is I'm talking about this shit to keep y'all aware. There you go. But yeah, we have one more thing I wanted to cover. It's nice and easy, a little bit of environmental stuff or what have you. We gotta bag it up. But yeah, let me go ahead and take the last break and we will close it out. Oh, yeah. Okay. Our last story comes from The Guardian. California's Gavin Newsom signs law banning all plastic bags at grocery stores. Paper or plastic will no longer be a choice at grocery store checkout lines in California under a new law signed on Sunday by the governor, Gavin Newsom, that bans all plastic shopping bags. California had already banned thin plastic shopping bags at supermarkets and other stores, but shoppers could purchase bags made with a thicker plastic that reportedly made them a reusable and recyclable. So, one, if I'm not getting, hopefully I'm not getting this misconstrued or what have you, but it sounds like, okay, California came out with this idea to be like, hey, we're banning plastic bags. And I guess maybe they were specific about it, so therefore stores or companies could say, okay, well, we have a solution to this. Let's sell them like better plastic, thicker plastic bags, and then they can reuse them. But it's really, that didn't work because essentially they were just now selling bags and people were using these bags and then throwing them away, essentially adding to the waste and adding to, climate issues, all this kind of pollution and shit, which was what the law was trying to stop. So I can at least appreciate the Newsom administration for saying, okay, we have to go harder here. Oh, excuse me. The new measure approved by state legislators last month, bans all plastic shopping bags starting in 2026. Consumers who don't bring their own bags will now simply be asked if they want a paper bag. I think this is at least a cool thing to do for, the sake of the environment. Is it a huge monumental shift? Is it really going to save the world? No, but it's at least a conscious step. It is very California, but it's the California lib shit that I do fuck with. I do like it. I will say though, as an Ohioan, I use a bunch of plastic bags. Am I very environmentally friendly? No, I am not. But I will say I do try to save as many bags as I can and reuse them as trash bags. So I am at least doing a double use kind of thing. But I'm also going to level with you. I know that's not saving the world. I know it's not doing much. But are you really surprised that I'm a guy that's I'm not going to be the one who's going to let some celebrity or politician tell me that it's on me to save the world when they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do at a global, bigger level. Nah, talk to Exxon, talk to Shell, talk to any of these other motherfucking big companies that are not going to do shit for the environment. Not really. So, yeah, no, I'm doing what I fucking can, okay? But it is one of those things where I'm I have tossed the notion of it wouldn't be crazy if I brought I don't know, I feel 3 to 5 tote bags. I'm sure I could figure it out, and I'm sure that would be a better solution. You know what I mean? But, maybe that's something I do in the future, But yeah, figured I'd go ahead and talk about that today. I'll give my tip of the hat to Gruesome Gavin there. It seemed like he did at least something kind of cool. But am I gonna, cut through this shit and say, is this more of a fucking political stunt to be like, hey, yeah, California, we're so good about this shit. We love the environment. Yeah. And it's like, sure you do, dude. But this isn't doing much and you know it. But yeah, kudos, whatever. Anyway, that's the episode. We'll leave it there for today. If you'd like to help out support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Feel free to hit me up via the Gmail, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. I want to send any feedback or whatever that way. Free ways to hit me up. That's not email or the Patreon. But I will say, fun fact, you can just subscribe for free. I don't say that very often because it's kind of whatever, counterintuitive. But I mean, hey, if you want to hang out and just, at least see it, you don't get the full access to the old archive, little random episodes or practice things I did. But, you at least get to be a part of the gang. Not an official newsie, but we'll call you a hanger-on. But no, there's other ways to, hit me up socially, via X, via Facebook. You take your pick. Let's see. Hopefully you subscribe to the YouTube. Really helps out a lot. If you are, hit that like button on the episode. Leave a cool comment. Really appreciate that. I don't need to see no hater ass bullshit. If you want to be a meanie weenie panini motherfucker, I mean, fine. But at least be smart about it, I guess. If I'm going to pass over your comment, at least be intelligent. But I prefer a nice comment. I prefer a good guy. I prefer a good gal, something sweet. But anyway, sharing is also caring. If you'd like, spread the word. There's a guy out there talking about news. He's weird. Anyway, also, if you're listening on Spotify or another platform, all the stars, that really helps out. Rinse and repeat on all the other stuff. But yeah, that's the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.